Okay, so it looks like I am live. And friends, I am live on Facebook and YouTube today. I am going to share my YouTube channel with you because I am moving over there. More. I'll put it right in here. Okay. So I dropped it in the comments, my YouTube channel on Facebook, so you can follow me there because that is where I am going. I'm going to be less on this platform and more over there. They just treat me better. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And today I'm talking about story time. I did not come on here yesterday because I felt like shit. And so I typically don't go on any platform when I feel that way. And I just felt so bad. I've been dealing with long COVID. So some days I have these days where I'm so exhausted. I can't think. I'm so tired. You know, the brain fog is heavy on those days. And so I've learned to give myself grace and allow, because I'm sure that, you know, some things that I'm learning through this process and this ordeal and this thing that I'm dealing with. But I choose not to focus on it, but I do choose to take care of myself. So one thing that I learned and one thing that I used to do is I used to push through. I would just push through. I would just push, you know, and that did not serve me well. And it doesn't really serve any of us well. So I stopped doing that. So I began to give myself grace and allow myself. Now, a part of that story is for years and for decades, I have worked 3 and 4 jobs. I worked like a mule. That's what I used to say. And I've gotten to the place where I realized that I was killing myself. And so I stopped doing that. I decided that I needed to take a change, make a turn, take a move, you know, shift some things inside of me. And so that actually brought me to the healing phase, because I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I truly believe that it's because I worked so much. And that was really the only way that the Holy Spirit could get my attention. And so I was diagnosed with that. And I allow it to come and shift and move through me as well. You know, I don't even really have a lot of problems with it. And I think that's because of my mindset and how I think about it and the things that I say to myself regarding that. Because I just truly have gotten to a place where I don't believe that I'm going to pet any illness. I'm not petting anything. Even this long COVID, how it hits me, I know and I've recognized. I'm also doing a lot of energy work and having a lot of work done with me and on me. I do acupuncture monthly, at least, sometimes twice a month if I can. My acupuncturist is moving, so I'll probably miss her for a minute. But I told her, make sure she let me know where she is, because, you know, I definitely need to have that done. That is a non-negotiable for me. And so what I'm learning is that when you decide what is non-negotiable for you, what is non-negotiable for you, what is it that you need to do that is non-negotiable for you? You know, for me, acupuncture is non-negotiable. I have it, and it usually, my body tells me when it's time for me to go get it done. And I think about that because the first acupuncturist that I went to in Tucson, Arizona, which was amazing. She's an amazing young lady. She was a doctor in China, and she came here because her husband's dream was to come to America. And I think he's a professor or something at the university down there. And she came, and she had already done medical school in China, but she couldn't pass the English proficiency. So she decided to, just like I always love, to turn the lemons into lemonade. And she started an acupuncture massage place, which is amazing. And she was amazing. And so she was the one that, when I asked her, when should I come back? Because, some of them are like, oh, come next week or come the next week or whatever. Well, my insurance don't pay for it. So I have to pay cash out my pocket. So I wasn't coming next week. But what she said to me was that I should come back when I started feeling pain. And I thought, whoa. So to me, that was her helping me get in touch with my body to know that it is going to speak to me. And so that's kind of what I've done. And so as I started on this healing journey, which I say started, but really continued, because as I began to move forward in my life, and as I began to see things for, what they really are, because the thing is we all live with these blinders on. Sometimes we're raised that way. Sometimes it just happens that way. Sometimes we stay in that place where, we look at things, but we're not really seeing. And so for me, I started my journey. I started my journey where I got up one day and I went to work, and I worked night shift at that time because I had done night shift for probably a couple of decades. For the most part, I did some days here and there, different jobs, because I never was able to stay in one job for a long, long time. And so, I do different jobs. I've done different things. I like that. I love variety. I call myself multi-passionate, and I interviewed a young lady a couple of weeks ago that spoke it as multi-hyphenate, and I like that too. So I'm multi-hyphenate. I like to do different things. I like to do more than one thing. I'm not a one-trick pony. And sometimes that is difficult to navigate. And especially when you are, when you do some of these coaching programs and they want you to do, oh, just do this, do this. No, that's not what I can do. I just don't have the ability to do it. So my healing journey started, it started about 2012, the end of 2012. I got a message from the Holy Spirit telling me that it was time for me to leave the place I was living. And so I was living in the South in the U.S. and the Holy Spirit said it was time for me to leave that place. And so I was like, okay, because I had been praying and I had been asking the question. And that is key. A key point to share is that I had been asking the question. I had been asking. I had been praying. I had not been on my knees, because that is something I haven't been able to do because I can't do that. I had issues with my knees. I'm not going to get on them, but I will lay down in the bed or I will stretch out. So I had been asking, for a minute, what was my next step and what did I need to do? Because I wasn't really happy where I was. The relationship that I was in was terrible and it was time for me to get out of it. And I was trying to figure out how to get out of it because I never want to hurt anybody's feelings. And that was something that was important to me, because I had been a people pleaser, I think, not even realizing, but I never wanted to hurt anyone's feelings. So I started, trying to figure out how I was going to get out of this relationship that I was in. And it was crazy. And I just was like, okay, this is not for me because I don't do drama. I had already done drama for the better part of 20 years and I was not signing up for that. It just was not, it's not in my awareness to do. So I just can't do it. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So, the thing is when I got that message, I was at work. It was 3:00 in the morning and I got that message and I spoke to one of my friends at work and I said, I just heard, that it was time for me to leave this place. And she said, well, we're getting off at 7:00. And I was like, no, I don't think that's what it is. And so she's like, well, are you going to quit? Because I actually I didn't quit. I just went on call, but I stopped working full time there for about a year, I guess. And then I went back to work full time. I already was staying on call, so I worked here and there, but I went back, took a full time spot. And so when I got this word, I decided that, okay, it's time for me to go. I got to look at some things. And I started looking at traveling because I've been a nurse for 29 years now, 32 years in the field. And so I started looking at traveling. I said, well, maybe I need to travel. Maybe that's how I'm going to get out of here. And so I started looking at that, and I talked to this company, and I started doing and did all the paperwork, all the things, jumped through all the hoops, because it was so many damn hoops to jump through. They wanted, shot records and all these things that I didn't really have, immediate access to. And they wanted me to get another shot. And, at that time I didn't, it was just crazy. And so, but I did all the stuff. And then I realized that where they were sending me to was Omaha, Nebraska. And I had never been to the Midwest not to stay. I mean, I've driven through there, but I've never actually stayed there. And I was like, I looked at the weather, and the weather said that it was -8, but it felt like it was -15. And so for me, that was a no. I do not like it that cold. That is too cold for me. I don't think I've ever felt -degree weather consistently. I felt it maybe once when I lived in Connecticut, but not consistently. So consistently negative weather was not something I was going to deal with in my 40s, because I was in my 40s at that time, and I wasn't willing to do that. So my cousin called me, and she said, I live in Arizona. You want to come here? You can stay with me. So I did. So I left where I was, and I went to the West Coast, and I stayed with my cousin, and I did that for 6 months. And in that time, Lord, it was a serious, crazy, dark night of the soul for me, because it was the first time in my life that I had never had my own place, because I'm very particular about stuff like that. I like my space. And I didn't have my own space. And, it was just one of those times where I just really started feeling like I don't even know why I did this. But in my life, I have done things intuitively many times when I thought back on it. I didn't realize at the time, but I've done things many times intuitively, not realizing what I was going to do through the process. And so I realized later that I'm a visionary, and so that is sometimes how visionaries are. We can see the whole big picture, but a lot of times the details in the middle are a little fuzzy. And so I started recognizing that and realizing and actually being really thankful for that. But I started going down this journey, and so I started. I had a mentor that was amazing, and how they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Well, that was kind of how that happened. And he appeared, and he was amazing. He taught me a lot about energy, and he taught me about the Bach flower essences and different things in the energy healing world. And so coming from religion, it was a big leap and a big jump for me to step into this world, but I love it. And I knew and I felt comfortable there in a way that I hadn't felt comfortable in the past in other areas of my life. And so I felt comfortable. So I started, I did a Reiki master class. And so I joined that class and learned how to use energy and move energy. So I'm a Reiki master. I did some sacred soul alignment. I did a sacred soul alignment course. And so I'm a sacred soul alignment practitioner, which is another amazing energy healing okay. So sorry about that. So as I went forward and I learned, a few other different modalities, some quantum Reiki, some I did I did a life coaching. I have a life coaching certification, so I did that. There are a few things that I did, and then also I started to realize that so much of this is already inside of me. It already was a place that I was. And so a lot of it had started coming back to me. It started coming back to me at that time. And I started realizing that there are things that I do that maybe other people don't do. And there are ways that I do things that are different from the way that other people do them. But that doesn't make it wrong. It just makes it my way. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to bring forward, because I know that so many of us, we think about these things and we're like, oh, but I didn't do it that way, or I didn't call down the symbols or do the thing the right way and all that stuff. But all of this stuff is about energy. And it's about the energy behind whatever it is that you do, the energy behind your words. How do you think words help heal? Because the energy behind them. What you say matters. What you say matters. And the words that you speak to yourself, your self-talk matters. And so that is one of the things that I love about the energy work. I love about this healing work. And I feel like if more people are starting to open up to it and realize that it will help them transform their life, I believe that this energy work will also help people to heal from all kinds of things, from all kinds of different see that word stuff. All kinds of different physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, all of those things can be healed. And one thing that I love about the Bible is it speaks. And when you read it and you listen to it and you hear it and you read it in spirit and truth, like people say, and not only that text, you can also read the Quran. You can also read the Torah. There are so many spiritual texts that you can read, but I love the fact that the Bible states that the power of death and life is in the tongue. So what I took that to mean is that the things that we speak out of our mouth have power. So we really need to be considerate and consider what we say out of our mouths. That is the thing, y'all. That's the thing. It's like, be considerate of what you say, and be considerate of what you put after the I am. I've really been at this place where I've been focusing on, what I say after the I am, what goes after I am. So I've been conscious of not saying things like I am sick, unless I am sick. But I typically try to say, I don't feel so good, something like that, something of that nature, But for me, healing is so natural, and it's so, in me, it's so through me, And the thing I love is when people get the aha moments, and when they begin to catch themselves and flip their script and change their words, when they get ready to say something crazy, they switch it and flip it. That is one of the things that I love. And it's amazing to see and to watch and to know. And so I'm super, super excited and grateful, to be here before you, bringing this story time, because that's really what this is. As I was growing up, I actually embraced some gifts, and I could see dead people. And it was really weird. And it was in a way that I had never heard anybody saying that they saw that, for me. And so that was something that I dealt with as a child. My grandmother actually helped me to navigate that, because she was the only person that I told, because you already feel weird. You already feel like a black sheep. I have been that one. I know that people, a lot of people in my family are like, okay, what's she doing now? You know what I mean? Because I have always known that I was supposed to be an entrepreneur. I was supposed to work for myself. I'm not supposed to be working people's jobs. I already knew that. And I knew that from a young age. And so I've been on that path for decades now, I can say. I love saying decades, y'all. It's just something about that. Why? I don't know. But I do. I just love it. And I love, just to be able to help people to heal, because that is so what we need. So many stories are coming out about craziness. I saw a TikTok where the girl was talking about that young lady that the friends killed in Mexico. That was so terrible. And I know that it's something wrong in our society, or something that needs to be shifted in our society. Let me say it like that. You see how easy that was? Instead of saying something is wrong, I said something needs to be shifted in our world. Needs to be shifted. That's what it is. And that is one of the reasons why me and many other people that are healers and light workers and prayers, there are so many different terms, and people really go into craziness about the different words and the terms. But let me tell you something. When you call on God, regardless of what name you call him, source, universe, God, whatever you call him, her, or them, whatever you call him, you could call him source, universe, God, Abraham, whatever. Whatever you call him or her or them, they're going to answer you. They're going to answer you, because why? Is the energy behind it. Now, one thing I've learned is how to even read the energy behind the words. You can read the energy behind the words. You look at an email, and all of a sudden something will come up to you when you're reading through it, and you'll know what the energy is behind it. And that, to me, is an amazing tool. It's an amazing thing. And another thing that I am super excited about, that I'm working on, is finishing my ebook on intuition in business and how to use your intuition in business, because I know that that is one of the things that people need. Because a lot of times, especially even intuitive people, they'll sit that intuition on the side where it's related to business, where what you need to do is you need to bring it in. You need to bring it in and use it in business, because it will help you. It could be that all of a sudden, that the person that you are speaking to is not on the up and up. They're not on the level, because you can feel it, or you can see something, or something has shown up to tell you, or you can identify that, sometimes by the words that they're speaking out of their mouth, sometimes not even, sometimes just the energy behind them. And so when you start to learn that, and you start to really get solidified on that, it will help you in business, in your job, all kinds of ways. And so this is one of the things that I am putting forward, going forward in 2023, because I really want to focus on helping people with their businesses, as far as their intuition, as far as helping them to understand, how to use these gifts that we've all been given. Because we've all been given these gifts. We all have them. Some people are like, oh, I'm clairaudient. Oh, I'm clair whatever. I'm clair this. Okay, yeah, you're all those things. But are you using them to help you in your business? Are you using them to move the needle forward? Are you using them to connect to your clients? Are you using it? Are you using the clairsentience where you feel something? Are you using the clairaudience where they speak to you? Are you using the claircognizance where you just know? Are you using any of those things? Are you using the clairvoyance where you just see, where you just get shown stuff, because that happens to me sometimes. And you know what else? Sometimes, it happens to me where I see a movie clip, and that'll be something that, you share with your people is, I see a movie clip, it's showing me, and a lot of times, sometimes it'll be a fairy tale, or I'll be like, what? I'm seeing you like in the movie with the tribute, the Hunger Games. I'm seeing you like on the Hunger Games where you're raising your hand in tribute, but you don't really want to, and sometimes that is how I get information and messages for my clients. So anyway, thank you for listening to my story time. I appreciate all of you. If you are on YouTube and you have popped over and all of a sudden I'm in your face, make sure that you subscribe, you hit the bell so that you'll know when I come on and do these lives, because I'm going to start doing even more of them on this channel. And I appreciate those of you that are subscribed. Thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you. And I hope that if you are in America or wherever you celebrate Turkey Day, if you celebrate that day, or, even the time, because the thing is we don't celebrate the day, but we do celebrate the fact that we have time to spend with our families, time to eat good, time to chill out, time to relax, all of those things. If you like football, time to watch football, all of that stuff. So I'm grateful and thanks for that. I'm grateful and thankful for that. So again, thank you for joining me. And if you're watching this before Cyber Monday, if you would like to have any of my services, I'm offering them for $100 off. I'll actually put up a post and let you know what they are, especially. But also, I can put it in the comments, my website, so you can go there. You can also reach out to me on any of these platforms, on Facebook, which Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you're finding me and watching me, you can reach out. So again, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an amazing, amazing, amazing live. Check me and my Ebony and Ivory partner out tonight. We're going to do Ebony and Ivory on spiritual growth at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So join us there. I'm also going to be doing some healing activations. I'm just so excited about it. But I will be letting you know when that will occur as well, because I had to put it off a few times because of different things happening in my life. I end up having to travel and go and lay my mother-in-law to rest. And so we had to travel for that. So we were traveling for like 2 weeks, and I was actually planning on doing that healing activation at that time. But you know what I've learned is that divine time is the right time. So if it doesn't happen at that moment, it can happen another moment, another day. So again, thank you so much. I enjoy speaking to you. So bye now.